All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a seriously powerful tool that's already built into your copy of Windows, Robocopy. We're going to break down how you can use it, why all the pros trust it, and even a few super clever tricks that might just change the way you manage your files. So let me ask you this. Are you still just dragging and dropping folders to make backups? If you've ever had a huge file transfer fail right in the middle, or just take forever, you know that the good old copy-paste just doesn't cut it for the heavy lifting. And this slide, this is exactly why. Just look at the difference. A standard copy is, well, it's fragile. It hits one error and the whole thing just stops. Robocopy, it's restartable. Standard copy is painfully slow with tons of tiny files. Robocopy can use multi-threading to just blitz right through them. And maybe best of all, you get detailed logs and you can fully automate the whole thing.
So what is it officially? Robocopy stands for Robust File Copy, and the name says it all. It's a command line tool designed from the ground up to be reliable, to handle the tough stuff. We're talking huge data sets, tricky file permissions, even spotty network connections. This is exactly why system admins use it for the really critical jobs, like migrating a whole server.
Okay, theory is great, but let's get our hands dirty. We're going to build our very first command right here, from scratch. We'll start super simple and then add some power with each step.
So here it is, the absolute bare bones command. It's just Robocopy, then your source folder, then your destination folder. That's it. This will copy the files from C:\source to D:\destination. Simple. But wait, what about all the folders inside the source folder? Well, for that, we add our first switch. By tacking on a /E, you're telling Robocopy to copy all the subdirectories too, even if they're empty. Now you're copying the whole structure, not just the loose files. Okay, now this is where Robocopy really starts to flex. The copy all switch. This thing doesn't just copy the files, it copies everything about them. The attributes, the timestamps, and, this is the big one, the security permissions, what we call ACLs. This is absolutely essential for server migrations so that all your user permissions stay intact. All right, now it's time for the power move. This next switch is without a doubt the most powerful and, if you're not careful, the most dangerous option in the entire Robocopy toolkit. I'm talking about the mirror switch. The command itself looks so simple, just Robocopy csource ddestination /mir. That /mir switch tells Robocopy one thing: make the destination look exactly like the source, a perfect replica. So what does exact replica actually mean? Well, mirror is really just a shortcut for two other switches combined. Copies all the subdirectories and purge. Now, purge, that's the key. It actively deletes any files or folders in the destination that are not in the source. And this is why you have to be so careful. I'm not exaggerating. If you accidentally flip your source and destination, Robocopy will look at your destination, see that it's now the source, and happily delete everything in the folder you were trying to back up to make it match. Always double-check your paths. Now for a little pro tip. Even though MIR is basically E plus purge, there's this one tiny but super important difference. If you use E plus purge, the security settings on the main destination folder itself are left alone. But if you use MIR, it will overwrite the destination folder security with the sources. It's a small detail that can save you a huge headache later. Okay, you've got the basics down, you know the power moves. Now, let's talk about speed. How do we really dial this thing in and get max performance, especially when you're moving terabytes of data? Here are some secrets straight from the pros. To handle tons of small files, use /MT for multi-threading. Start with a number like 16 or 32. If you're running this in a script, get rid of /TE. You don't need to waste time printing to the screen. For that first big copy job, use /R0/W0. That tells Robocopy to just skip any locked files without waiting. Just fly through the first pass and you can run it again later to grab anything it missed. And a personal favorite, always use /log+ to add to your log file so you keep a running history of every run. So let's put it all together. This is what a real professional-grade migration command might look like. We are mirroring a network share to a backup drive. We're using 32 threads for speed. We're telling it to only retry a locked file once after waiting 5 seconds. We're turning off the progress indicator to speed things up, and we're logging everything to a migration log file. This is how you build a fast, reliable command. Look, a great command is one thing, but a great command that runs itself every single night while you're asleep, that's even better.
Let's talk about how to automate this so you can just set it and forget it. And it's actually really easy using the Windows Task Scheduler. First, you just save your finished Robocopy command into a plain text file, but you name it with a .bat extension. Then you open up Task Scheduler, create a new task, and set your schedule, say every morning at 1 a.m. For the action, you just point it to that .bat file you made. And here's the final crucial bit. Make sure you set the task to run whether user is logged on or not, and check the box for run with highest privileges. That way, your backup will always run, no matter what. Okay, and please, listen to this one. This is a critical warning for anyone doing a migration. On the day you finally make the switch to the new server, you have to remember to go back and disable the scheduled task. If you forget, that script will run again, see that the old source is out of date, and it will helpfully mirror that, deleting all the brand new data on your live server. Do not let that happen to you.
All right, to wrap things up, I want to leave you with one final and really clever trick. This is one of those things that just shows how versatile Robocopy can be and how you can use it for way more than just copying.
So have you ever had this happen? You've got a folder with just millions of tiny files inside. You try to delete it in Windows Explorer and it just hangs and maybe even crashes. It can literally take hours. So how do you nuke that folder quickly?
The answer is just so beautifully simple. You use Robocopy's most destructive feature to your advantage. First, you create a new, totally empty folder somewhere on your drive. Then, you run a Robocopy command to mirror that empty folder right on top of the giant folder you want to delete. And because /mir's job is to purge anything in the destination that's not in the source, and the source is empty, Robocopy will just tear through and delete every single one of those files at incredible speed. It's an amazing technique for a really common and frustrating problem.